Welcome to the Success Sensei podcast for anyone interested in success, happiness, and balance. We'll teach you how to be a black belt at life. And now, your host, former professional fighter, multiple world champion, entrepreneur, and investor, Robert Devane.
Bowing in. This is Roundhouse Rob, the Success Sensei, helping you to win at life one kick and punch at a time. Today's episode, it's the Success Sensei 2020 Roundup, and this is episode 228. Welcome to the main event.
It's the Success Sensei podcast main event.
The Success Sensei 2020 Roundup. I thought I'd take the time in this episode before the end of the year to go over some of the stuff that we covered this year. It is that time of year, all the shows and all the news are going through all the critical points of 2020. A lot of it, we really don't need to be reminded of it because it's been such a tough time for everybody. I actually feel sorry for all of us, for everybody. I think it's been tough for everybody all around. And obviously some people have had it worse than others, but there's nobody unaffected by 2020. And we're all looking forward to getting out of this year. But this roundup is covering all of the things that we've talked about and I've gone through in all the episodes. Because believe it or not, the very first episode I did in 2020 was episode number 100. And I've gone on, this is episode 228, so that's another 128 episodes I've done since the very, very start of this year. That's a lot, because I think it was at episode 143 I switched to doing 3 a week. By the end of this week, there'll be 129, so by the time you listen to the Friday Blitz, there's 129. So I made the decision to do 3 a week from episode 143. So as you know, because I'm sure you're a dedicated and loyal listener, every Monday it's the starting round to get you started, to get you momentum for your week. Every Wednesday is the main event, so the main topic of the week. It's a little bit a longer episode. And every Friday is the Friday Blitz. And we generally work off a question. Sometimes the questions are given in. Sometimes I make up the questions to suit the episode. But the Friday Blitz is supposed to be shorter and snappier. And you know what? I end up waffling and they ended up being just as long as probably the other ones. So I haven't kept to any particular rules. But there's the starting round, the main event, and the Friday Blitz. Now we have covered a hell of a lot of ground in the past 128 episodes. Never mind the previous 100. Goals has been one that I've banged on about a lot, and I will be over the next couple of weeks as we go into January. It's a very important one, and your reason why, knowing your reason why, knowing what motivates you has been a recurring theme as well. Unnecessary expenses I've hit on a few times. A notable one was episode 111, which was called Your Car is Costing Your Future. So you can already guess what, if you haven't previously listened to that episode, definitely go back and have a listen to any of these episodes that I'm going to mention. But you can guess what it's about. And it's about wasting money and spending your life energy working for money to waste on things that you don't necessarily need. So we all know this lesson, but we all need a reminder every so often. Or we all need it to be planted in our head so that we can actually decide for ourselves what is important to us and what isn't. Sometimes we need a reminder to remind ourselves. Indecisiveness was covered in episode 117. What to do when you don't know what to do. So often we find ourselves in that scenario. And procrastination in the sister episode, which was episode 119. What to do when you do know what to do. Which again is a scenario we often find ourselves in. COVID obviously featured a lot in a lot of episodes. To be precise, episode 120, 121, 122, 23, 125, 140, 141, 146, 148, 150 and 203. And obviously there was no escaping COVID. I tried to talk about staying positive, trying to have some type of a plan, some type of a routine. The 120 episodes, the ones 120 and 121, etc., they were obviously done in the first lockdown. The 140, 141 were done in the second lockdown. But everything was about what can we learn during COVID, what will we adopt and keep in our lifestyle after COVID, how to deal with the anxiety and the stress, and all the many other things associated with COVID. So they were the COVID episodes. Finance again was you can't have a Success Sensei podcast without dealing with finance a lot. And again, a notable one was episode 137, 12 ways to get filthy rich. Maybe you listened to that episode, maybe you didn't. Even if you did, I would recommend going back and listening to it again. There was also episode 151, which was how would you change your life if you won the lottery? And I think we've all kind of thought about that every so often. And it's definitely something that you should think about, because it helps you to figure out your future and to shape your goals. Success is a recurring theme, being the Success Sensei. It is really all about trying to get success and improving in all areas of our life: health, wealth, happiness. All of that leads to success in all areas. In episode 147, I talked about your hierarchy of needs, which, at each stage of that hierarchy of needs, if you're successful, you move up to the next stage. And in each stage, if you can be successful, you're doing very bloody good. Thankfulness and gratefulness were things that we touched on a lot. Reflection and positive reflection were things we touched on a lot. Learning, growing and improving were again things there were many different episodes, and there were segments and parts of various different episodes. Beware of over consuming in all forms of media, including social media. I probably, gave social media a lot of stick over the last year, because as much as it's good, as much as it has a lot of different benefits, there's a lot of negative sides to social media and to immersing yourself in all forms of media, the news, etc. This year, 2020, is a perfect testament to how the news and social media can absolutely manipulate your emotions. People that never had anxiety before, never felt panic attacks, never suffered from depression, never had, suffered from stress, probably experienced all of those emotions. Dealing with adversity, again, was a common theme. In episode 183, it was about seeing people get ahead that don't deserve it. Good listen to that one if you want to listen back to that one. Protecting yourself was another one. Episode 205. What's the dark side of being successful? Now, when I say protecting yourself, sometimes it's protecting yourself from yourself. Investing was another one. Episode 222. The amazing B or strategy. So that was a recent enough one. I've got 3 honourable mentions, because there was a lot of good episodes that I enjoyed as well. Obviously, I'm going to say I enjoyed them all, but there was ones that I look back at and I liked. Episode 115, which was the 10 crack commandments. So we were using the notorious B.I.G.'s famous song, Crack, I spelled differently, C-R-A-I-C, the Irish for fun. Episode 174, your definition of greed is holding you back. I think that's a very important episode, that you really do define what your definition of greed is to a point that it can hold you back. So it's very important to look at it and to actually decide on a conscious level what your definition of greed is going to be, so that it isn't a hindrance to your progress. Because if you want more success in your life, but you actually see the success that you're looking for as being greedy, guess what? It's like having the handbrake stuck on your sports car. You have all that power, you have all that potential, and it's not going anywhere. The third honourable mention, episode 207, 10 success lessons from my doorman years. So I was able to indulge myself with my stories of days gone by. So I probably could have talked a lot more about a lot more different episodes, and I would recommend different episodes to different people depending on their path or where they're currently at. I forget what I've even said in a lot of the episodes, and then often I'm talking to people and they're quoting me, and I'm surprised. I'm surprised that they were listening, and I'm honoured that they were listening, and I'm flattered that they're quoting me, and often I forget what I've even said in the episodes. But I do find it a very therapeutic process. I do feel great after recording each episode. I hope that they stand the test of time, despite my unnecessary dating them by saying what day we're on and what month and what's actually happening. That can unnecessarily date them. But nonetheless, I hope they are useful to people and to my family in years to come. And, you know, I always wanted the Success Sensei to be a part of my legacy, especially after I finished competing and I had that void in my life that I wanted to do something. So I'm not stopping yet. I haven't run out of things I want to talk about. I do have one more episode to record this year, and that's on this Friday. There you go, unnecessary dating. But this Friday will be the last one for this year, and then I am going to take a 2-week break, to give you a 2-week break, to give me a 2-week break, to give my family a 2-week break, and then I will talk to you in the new year. I'm not going to give you the official Merry Christmas now. You're going to have to listen to the next episode, and then I'll do it properly. Thank you for listening. I'm Roundhouse Rob, the Success Sensei. Life is a fight you can enjoy and win. Bowing out.
This has been the Success Sensei, fighting the winning fight. So add us, subscribe, like, and comment. Keep those hands up and keep moving forward.